All right, welcome to another episode of a Giving Podcast, a very delicious edition of the podcast. That's right. I'm saying the stupid puns. Sammy, how are you doing? Let's just get through our intros really quickly so that because we have something special going on. Sammy, how are you? One sentence, go.
Pretty good. Finished Hellblade. Excited for 2.
You could go longer than that's okay.
Okay.
I'm clearly joking.
But yeah, no, good. I'm excited for everything we're talking about today. I'm excited to try the McRib for the first time, and we'll see how that goes.
Just spoils it. Like, wow.
That's true.
Oh my God.
I mean, never mind.
McRuined.
We can restart. It's fine.
No, we're doing this live, not live. That's too bad. But how was Hellblade for you, though?
It was really good. The story got really dark, and then figuring out exactly what was real and like what was representing like what.
Yeah.
It was a wild ride.
Right.
The puzzles were actually really fun. I didn't know it was going to be like that puzzle heavy, but I was actually really happy that it was.
Yeah.
But like you guys were saying in previous podcasts, the freaking fighting definitely clunky. And am I allowed to talk spoilers?
Yeah.
It's been out for
a
right?
bajillion years. You're fine.
Like I made it through like 16 waves right at the end until I realized I had to lose. And I was just like, oh, okay. I guess I just die.
I remember this one. I remember that scene. I did the same thing too. I'm like, damn, they're just relentless. It's keep going and going. Yeah. Yeah.
And then I had to listen to the voices telling me to let go. And I was like, all right, fine.
You just refuse. You're just like, I'm not letting go. I don't care what you
Gotta do it.
Steve Saylor, how are you doing? Steve Saylor on location.
Yeah, I'm on location. I'm staying at my sister's place, dog sitting for her while she's out in Punta Cana. So,
I'll be there
yay.
next week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, tell her I said that.
You're in Jim Ryan's bunker. You're hunkered down in Jim Ryan's bunker, waiting for
You really think that Jim Ryan would have a picture of Kramer on the wall?
Yes.
Maybe.
I know, to be honest.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Isn't he supposed to retire soon anyway?
I think he's gone already.
Yeah,
isn't he?
actually.
Yeah, is he gone now at this point? I don't know.
What, April?
April.
Oh, did they say April?
They did give a date.
He's probably not even sure enough. He's probably using like his old
Retire date.
sick days and PTO days.
He will retire in March.
I would.
Yeah.
Oh, March. Okay.
There you go.
All right. Well. Anyway, hi everybody.
Hi. Stevie,
Hey,
how
buddy.
about you, man? The champion, Stevie.
Marcel, I'm doing very well. Thank you. That's what I was going to do. Yeah, I was going to say, please refer to me and Riley, respectively, as champion this entire episode, because undefeated, humbly undefeated. Don't worry about everything else. Don't worry about the surrounding games. Just worry about the undefeated ones. But I'm doing very well. Thank you, Marcel.
Yep. They're the undefeated asterisks, just so you know. All right. But Riley, how about yourself? Oh, sorry,
Doing
champion
well.
Riley as well. Sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I didn't want to, I'm not too proper about the title, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's not explode his.
We love a humble winner that around here.
I love the formalities. So yeah, if everyone else wants to join in, I understand. But
did we give context, or did we just say call? Just call them champion. No context.
So Steve and I went undefeated in beer pong for 2 of the last 4 games. So we're undefeated, and it was incredible.
Key word there: 2 last 4 games we went undefeated, meaning you had to lose.
Yeah,
other
we went
games.
undefeated.
You lost.
No, well, we went undefeated for the last 2 of 4 games, so it was pretty incredible.
As he casually just eats his fries, part of his McRib combo.
There you go. And
that's a winner's meal, Camille.
That's
a winner's meal.
You wouldn't know.
Camille, how are you doing?
Give me my belt.
I just feel like next podcast we're gonna see Riley with 2 belts and
he has it. He has 2 belts.
He has them. He has the belts.
But he's gonna just it's just gonna be him sitting there and
stance on us.
You're giving him ideas. He's looking for it right now.
Next podcast.
It might happen right now. He's looking at them.
I'm pretty sure he does it every day. He just sits there to be like, yeah, I am the best. I'm doing good. I'm so sad that I missed out on all the wrestling fun. Also, I feel like I'm missing out on this McRib thing because I never got on that train. I don't know if I'm gonna try it. Still need to be convinced.
I don't even know why you're here at this point. No, like,
Wow.
no McRib, no belt. Like, what?
There it is. There it is.
And look what you did. Look what you
How's that
started
shoulder?
It's a little sore, to be honest.
The real
Pretty heavy.
The real question is, how's your
Carrying
back?
all these
How's your
belts.
back, Steve, from the carrying you were doing for Riley? That's all I gotta say.
Sorry, I came in clutch.
Well, you're only
So
strongest
mad
as your
about it.
weakened link. We won. I mean, that's just it. Like we won as a unit.
Mm-hmm.
My W is Riley's W. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. I'm sure that's what LeBron says.
It's like the
as well.
W
Yeah.
on my belt.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Or M for mediocre. One of the two.
Damn.
It's not M for Marcel because he didn't win.
Wow. All right.
Oh.
You know what,
Oh.
Riley? If you didn't have Steve, you would have still be shooting and missing air balls all day. That's all I gotta say.
Agree to disagree.
Anyway, you know what? I'm upset. It's time for a McRib, ladies and gentlemen. The McRib. It's finally here.
Not sponsored.
Not
Like, what's
sponsored.
Not
that?
sponsored.
But
Sponsored.
McDonald's,
Not yet.
it's time for you to hit us up here.
Not yet.
Not yet. Soon to be sponsored here.
Are those pickles on it? Like, what is that?
There are pickles
they got
on it.
pickles on it.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you have pickles with a rib?
Just so you
I
know,
love
I
pickles.
took the pickles off of
I
mine.
do too, but
I
that's,
asked for mine
weird.
without the pickle, so mine's a non-pickle
Of course
edition.
You never had barbecue with pickles?
I'm not a pickle fan
are for
anyway.
burgers.
Two picks.
And sandwiches.
What's the pickle count on everyone's?
I got
Oh,
two.
that's
I have no idea.
You see the
pickle count?
sauciness? This is very
I got
interesting
two
to me.
pickles.
I got a lot
I got two
of.
pickles too.
I got a
Wait,
lot of
is that
sauce on
cheese
one
or
end. I'm not gonna
onions?
lie.
Onion.
I got a lot
Onions.
of sauce on one end.
They don't use the cut up onions that they use on Big Macs. This just feels like how
That's
many?
onions right there. Yeah, that one right there.
Oh, look! I feel like Marcel's camera was trying to blur it out. Like this is not safe for work.
McDonald's they're listening.
Yeah.
They're in the back. They're like, hey, cut that out right now.
Welcome to our
Can't
move
expose the McRib.
Yeah. Is it your
All right,
side
I'm gonna
heavily,
try it. This is
heavily
my
sauced?
this is my first time trying it, so here we go.
Are we taking a bite?
go.
Yeah, let's take a bite. Let's take a bite.
All right, let's go.
Well,
Okay, I really want to hear because I know how Steve, V, Riley, and Marcel feel. But Sam, you never had a McRib before, right?
Yeah.
So I
no.
need to hear what you and Steve Saylor feel because like this doesn't look appetizing to me.
So the barbecue sauce itself, they've definitely used on other products, so that's
Yes.
familiar tasting.
Is it like the barbecue sauce dip for nuggies?
Yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that.
Yeah.
And I think like it's not horrible. I think I would probably still prefer. I like a quarter pounder a lot, so I think I would still prefer that.
A good
But it's
burger.
edible. I'll finish it.
I love to have this with lettuce.
Mm?
No, it'd be
It's not bad. It's not the best ribs I've ever had.
I feel like this is like just bringing down the hype of the McRib being back like just tenfold.
There's
It's
nothing-
not bad.
There's nothing we can say that'll make people not get it.
I will say this. I mean, it's the actual rib part of the McRib is kind of overpowered by the barbecue sauce and everything else.
And the
Mhm.
onion.
So the actual meat itself isn't
onions.
really substantial. So to me, like you have to, there has to be a good ratio of meat with sauce, and it just seems like the sauce is overpowering the meat.
Yeah.
100%.
Like for me, I had a sauce on all one side, and the other side didn't even have any sauce.
So I mean, it's fine. I'm going to finish it, but I'll probably
Like a 6.5 or 7 out of 10.
I'd be on the same. Probably about a 7.
All right.
Yeah, that's a firm 7.
Mhm.
A
Firm 7. Not enough pickles.
This is more like a
The
patty.
two
I
pickles.
love pickles. Yeah.
Kinda-
Yeah, I think we
Wait,
should go deeper on the
Steve, I
pickle.
thought you've had it before, Stevie.
Yeah.
He's just
I'm
critiquing.
going 8.
I
I'm
have.
going
I
eight on
don't
Pretty good.
You
I
can
don't
improve.
remember it that much though.
So you're saying the
It's
old
been what, like
McRib-
10 years since Canada's had it?
So the old
Oh, it's been
McRib
that
is
long?
better than the new McRib. They forgot how to McRib it. is what you're
Or,
saying.
you know, nostalgia did its nostalgia thing.
Mhm.
And like
Could be
what
that,
was over
yeah.
here got
Goes
put
into
up
glasses
here.
probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Remember when they had
I mean,
hot
the
dogs?
thing is like it's weird to kind of like to talk about. It's not really a rib. It's a patty.
Yeah.
It's a pork patty. Like basically that's what it is.
Just shape as a rib.
Yeah. Basically.
It is a lot of onions though.
It is a lot of onions, yeah.
I love onions though.
Yeah.
See, I may like,
but like,
that.
Would you eat an onion like an apple though?
I may be the next Shrek. I mean, I really love onions.
Dude, Kim Kardashian's daughter does that. Like, literally eats onions like apples. It was on like 30
Did you get the idea from the Grinch, or
wasn't that a challenge like way back?
I wouldn't be surprised.
the onion challenge? Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Onion challenge.
Oh no.
Try not to cry.
Like the movie Holes, when they find the onion
Oh
field.
God.
Yeah.
Just mowing onions.
You know what it was? There was like this fairy tale, like it was a Disney cartoon or like Disney-esque cartoon. I can't even remember what it is, but
Was it Disney's Holes?
No, they eat radishes. The princess eats radishes. And like for some reason, I've always wanted to eat a radish like that, like just off like the stem. It's like the family goes digging in the radish fields or something, and then the princess.
That sounds exactly like Disney's Holes. Have you heard of that?
What's the madam's name again in that movie?
Madam Holes?
Zero?
That's the best.
Madam
Well,
Holes.
Zero's the
Madam
kid.
Holes.
That's weird.
Madam Holes. Her name was Shia LaBeouf. That was it.
So video games,
Yeah,
right?
love those stuff.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Man.
yeah,
No.
Williams. What about him?
McItis. I'm getting the McItis now. I'm gonna say, All right. Well, we just finished watching the state of play. Overall thoughts, Sammy. You'll kick us off. What your overall feeling? And we'll go one by one on what we saw and everything. What is your general feeling?
I mean, I think that was a pretty solid presentation. It had some highs. It didn't have, like, some of them weren't as exciting, or at least I wasn't interested in all the different genres, but I'm sure for different people, they'll get hyped up for like some of the more like Japanese fighting games. But super excited for essentially like PT the game, which I've been wanting forever. So super excited about that. And yeah, I think that was really solid, really fun. I already forgot what other games were there because I got so distracted and excited by like the last couple. Did you watch it, Camille?
Yeah.
Camille was doing
You didn't want to watch it with us?
Camille was doing her own live reaction.
I had to react to it for something else, but yeah.
Oh.
Columbia Pictures.
So, but you did lose a bet though.
I know. No
We did.
Spider-Man.
We did.
No
What?
Spider-Man. Wait.
No.
No,
that
you
wasn't
said
bad
that
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really
Yes, that makes
disappointing.
me a winner.
Oh my
again.
God.
Oh my
Oh,
God!
man.
Here we go again. Steve Saylor, what are your overall thoughts on it? Though we were just going one by one on everyone's thoughts, and then we'll dive deep into it. Camille. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely something in there for everyone. It didn't, really blow my socks off in a huge way. There's like some pops in there that I like. I kind of like. I mean, Death Stranding looks pretty wild. I'll give it that. That's kind of, I guess, the biggest sort of news of the show. But yeah, it was okay.
All right, Steve V.
Yeah, it's weird. If this came out first, and this isn't like an Xbox versus PlayStation kind of argument, but if State of Play happened before the recent developer direct, I would have probably said, "Oh, this is like a fine 8 out of 10." Mm-hmm. But just seeing this in comparison to the developer direct, which I think had incredible pacing and incredible time to like dive into each game and kind of detail each one and kind of get its hype and lay out a roadmap. I think this one just kind of failed in that regard, only because some of the pacing just didn't really line up. Some of the trailers, and we'll get into each individual one, just didn't really capture my attention, even ones that I was like very looking forward to. But that being said, it went from like a 6 all the way to an 8 as soon as Kojima came out. And that's coming from a Kojima stan myself. But that's the kind of hype that he brings. That's the kind of like excitement you just have when you see, the Death Stranding logo or a Kojima project is there. It just bumps it up a couple levels, and then at the end when he's kind of talking about, we're talking about a 4th game. I'm like, all right, man. let's settle down.
One at a time, please.
Yeah, like let's relax. Let's chill out,
An
bro.
Xbox project.
Yeah, it's like,
stuff.
all right, cool. Let's deliver on one of these.
Whoa! That's what your reaction was when he mentioned another game that's specifically espionage.
Yeah, I'm more interested in. We'll get into it, but I'm interested in the thing we just saw. Like, I'm hyped as hell. I didn't need any more than that, but yeah, that I wish this was Death Stranding, the state of play. Everything else could have been a blog post.
Oh,
I mean, okay, well, we'll dive into it because like there's some stuff we were like, but then we saw a certain skeleton go through a table. And I was like, all right, wait a minute, I'm back into this game and everything.
Very fair.
Yeah, Marcel was super into that. He's like, he rock bottomed him through a table. He rock bottomed him through a table.
Riley, what were your thoughts about it?
I liked it. I really liked it. I think that they showed a good range of games. I think that that campfire game that we saw, Judas, is going to be incredible. Yeah. I think that's going to be fantastic. I think the one thing that we're all kind of missing now, and we got it in the early days with some of the reveals for the PS5, we're not really they're not really touching legacy IP. Like we have an Uncharted movie, we have a Twisted Metal show. Like I kind of want to see more of the established properties now, because I think there's a desire to see some of those return. But outside of that, like Hideo Kojima doesn't miss. Like that's always exciting. The trailer and the footage they showed for that game looks incredible. Like it's even beyond what I thought it would be, and I already was like, oh, this will be nuts. So I'm pretty excited for that. Having a game to look forward to 10 years from now from him is also cool, but
he said 2 years. Like, he said 2 years. Give the man.
Do you think it'll be out in 2 years?
I thought he said a movie was coming out in 2 years.
He said
he said 2 years after Death Stranding 2.
No, he said his 40th anniversary for game development is in 2 years, and he believes that this game will represent that, which is him saying.
Do you think he's going to get Death Stranding 2 out next year, and then the Xbox game, and then this other game?
No, I think the Xbox
music production. Like, I don't think so.
I'm hoping.
I would like to, but I would like to believe, but I think that's wishful thinking.
Yeah, Mel, what was all your reactions?
Well, apparently, I was the only one really excited about this. I thought they showed, like, obviously, I'm a Kojima stan, and, we'll get into that argument later. I'm coming for y'all. But I do think they showed some great game. Like, Judas looks amazing. Stellar Blade looks very good. Like, I feel like I want to play that game, but I also feel like I may be cheating on Final Fantasy VII if I play that game. But then it does look kind of better than it. So there's that, and then like you have like games like Rise of the Ronin, and like that looks like Ghost, but like so much versatility on how you go into combat, which gets me excited about as well. I think what I was mostly missing and a bit disappointed with this showcase is dates. Like, there were a lot of in development for PlayStation 5. There was a lot of coming sometime. No dates. I think like what a lot of fans of PlayStation was looking for this state of play is what can we expect in the near future on the PlayStation 5 that is going to get us really hyped. And to your point, Riley, I think it is. They are in this in between where we're not seeing those legacy games. And although I think that definitely sucks for the mass audience that maybe just buy a PlayStation console to just play those games, I do think that's okay. Like those studios, they put out some work. I would rather them take their time to cook and like make a better quality game. I think this is just a lull, especially because, we're not developers. We don't know behind the scenes how they were handling the studios during COVID. So coming out of that, like, and maybe just because we're in the industry, like I kind of expected coming out of COVID in the next couple of years, there will be like a lull of projects because they were working on these great projects that came out 2023, 2020, like 2024. So I think we're in that mode right now, but we haven't adjusted to being in that right now.
Yeah. For me, I the showcase was great, just seeing like, it's always great to see new games and everything, but then I put myself in the head of, okay, like I don't own a PlayStation, and like I want you to like win me over or to convince me why I should get a PlayStation. And I feel like a lot of these like games coming out, I'm like, well, the PC version is coming out, or this is a multi-platform, game. And like, there's nothing here that I've really saw that I'd be like, oh, I have to get a PlayStation to get to experience this.
But to be honest, it's like if you're not convinced by now to be able to get a PS5 out of the games that have been released over the past 3 years, there's nothing that's going to be able to convince you to be able to buy it now.
No, that's a fair point and everything.
But the legacy games,
like that's what I mean. Like the legacy games are that. Like for example, like Nintendo, I know I'm getting Zelda, Mario, or like Pikmin or stuff like that. And like with like Xbox, it is Xbox. I always found Xbox was always like a PC experience as well, because you need a PC, and who owns PCs? Microsoft. So those two kind of go hand in hand. But with like PlayStation, like who do they have like that you don't like? That's like exclusively on that console as well. So I don't know. Overall, like, the show I found the show was very solid. It did have like a some of a slow start and everything. Like the Stellar Blade, like I mentioned, reminded me of Bright Memory. And I was like, is this like the same girl? And like, I can't really tell the difference between the two. So that one didn't really wow me over. But was that the first one we saw? Helldivers. What am I talking about?
Helldivers.
Steve's Game of the Year. Steve V's Game of the Year. Dive into Hell. What are your thoughts on it, Steve?
I mean, thankfully they didn't spend too much time on it. I think it was enough time to just say, hey, here's some snippets, here's some action. You're playing with your friends. Jump in 8 days. That's all we needed to know. I don't think that they needed to, drive home the point of like gameplay mechanics, stuff like that. Like I think if you're not sold on Helldivers, you're missing out for one. But if you're not, you're probably just not going to end up picking it up anyways. It's a little unfortunate that this is a second party full investment from PlayStation, and it still is one of those it just doesn't feel like it's given its due, so to speak. But that being said, I think it looks solid just based on my personal preferences. I'm excited to jump in, but I was glad that we didn't spend 5 minutes with a voiceover and stuff like that.
What's interesting? Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I just want to confirm it is a $50 game as well. So
cool.
That was something we were discussing about. But go ahead, Camille.
When I was streaming, like there was someone that commented, it looks like a PlayStation Plus game, so they don't know the hype around Helldivers. But I think that is very fair to say. It does have that kind of like Metro vibe, that feel of like, okay, this is kind of like their game that they release in between, the legacy games that may be great, but it's like a hidden gem for like core PlayStation fans. So I think like they allotted the right amount of time, and it was just weird to me that they opened with that. But hey, made people happy.
I mean, it is coming out next week, so they're like, hey, just a little reminder, like what Steve said. They really spent it was like 40 seconds on it, really. Even with the talking part, I'm like, oh, that's it. All right, on to the next, which was Stellar Blade, which is coming out. By the way, that one's coming out February 8th. Stellar Blade is coming out April 26th. Anyone want to take this one? Anyone feeling stellar?
I am actually a lot. Like, I like the whole design of all the characters in the world. Of like, I think it's for a specific audience. Like. Okay. And it's reminding me of Final Fantasy VII. And the thing is, it's like, it looks a little better in combat. But I think it's like what Final Fantasy VII has in nostalgia that will definitely draw in that audience. May not quite understand Stellar Blade, so I feel like it's something like for a specific niche audience that will appreciate. But I want to test it out. It looks good.
All right. After that was Sonic Cross Shadow. Everyone thought it was Sonic Generations and they're just going to throw in Shadow, but it looks like is this focusing on levels that featured Shadow the Hedgehog and their crossover from Sonic Adventure 2. Riley, you were showing some interest in this, I believe. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, I'm pretty excited for it. Like Sonic Generations, I think is one of the better platforming endeavors from on the Sonic side. So to see it brought back is cool, and then to have additional content in the form of Shadow. Mm-hmm. I'm assuming they're going to try to tie into Sonic the Hedgehog 3 because spoiler, Shadow is going to show up in that. It's cool, and I'm glad that they're revisiting some of the bad guys from Shadow the Hedgehog were showing up, which is like kind of like ignored by Sega generally. So it's kind of cool to see it brought back in a slightly different way. Less guns, unfortunately, but
you don't think
I'm
the gun's going to show up?
No,
maybe.
I don't
Maybe.
think so.
I don't. I
think so.
doubt it.
They're not going to bring the guns. I don't think they're
they're
going to bring
over
the guns.
it. Yeah, I agree with Camille. I don't think it's going to happen. But I'm excited for that. I think it'll be cool. And I'm excited to see kind of what platforms it ends up being on.
Yeah, I feel like this definitely would be on the Switch, right?
I don't see why not. I know right now they confirmed PS5 and PS4. So
okay, so I'm seeing Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Switch, and Steam, and Epic Game Store. So
yeah,
looks like it's pretty well done.
Switch is probably going to be the platform I play this on. Like, I'm going to want to play this on the go, or curled up on my couch.
Is this on both Switches though, or this is Autumn?
I don't know.
Cross-platform,
probably
cross-platform right here.
I think as soon as I saw that hill, I started singing. Rolling around. I was going for it.
Yeah,
I was going for it. Yeah, I'm excited.
Pretty dope.
I was going for it.
Foam Stars February 6th. Coming out. None of you was there a beta or a online beta for this? It came out. I played at PAX West, and it was a good game. I had a good time for the time I played for it, but
I feel like it's one of those games the internet really needs to push that one to make it successful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. There's going to be a dedicated fan base that champions this game. Otherwise, it's not going to be Square Square Enix that does it. It's going to be the community.
Yeah.
This has Ubisoft Roller Stars game kind of vibes to me. I know people liked it when they played it at Summer Game Fest. I unfortunately didn't get a chance to play it last year, but I don't know. I'm just didn't we already have a bunch of these kind of games already? I'm not talking about Splatoon. I'm just these kind of fun, sort of wacky multiplayer shooter type things.
This is not a free-to-play game, is it?
No, so it's
$30. Never mind.
PlayStation Plus for I think a month, and then you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Wait. PlayStation Plus, when you buy it, you can only play it's a demo for a month, or is it every other PlayStation Plus when you download it, it's yours?
No, so if you're a subscriber, you get access to it for the first month. I think until March 4th. Don't quote me on that. I know that there's an expiry date in the beginning of March, and then you essentially have to buy it, as far as I know.
Wow. Okay.
I could be totally wrong. Maybe I'm misreading the communication there, but that's how I interpret it.
It says it right here. PlayStation Plus February monthly. So anyone with an active PlayStation Plus subscription can get it and play the game at no additional cost. Everyone is welcome. Foam Stars will be available for purchase $30 from March 5th.
Oh, okay,
I think it's you have to claim it within that period, and then
you have to claim it. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Okay, because that would have been really shitty if you can play for a month, and they're like, "Spike, you got to pay for it now."
Yeah. After that was Dave the Diver coming out to PlayStation 5, featuring Godzilla May 2024.
Hell to the king, baby.
Godzilla's on tour, I see. Godzilla's on
that
tour.
was crazy.
That was pretty
crazy.
That was cool.
Good guess.
And it makes sense. It just makes sense.
You know what? I would have actually been I think the people you'll say oh, it's kind of a perfect sort of collaboration. I think imagine if they put Godzilla into Dredge.
Sure, I can see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Right? Yeah. That would have been dope. But anyway, hey, Dave the Diver with Godzilla. That actually might get me interested in playing the game.
After that was V Rising. They didn't really show new content here, but Sammy, did you see anything new?
I mean, there is definitely. I haven't played it since the Giant update, so those could definitely already be on PC. But it's a solid game. Yeah. It is. I definitely think everyone should play that on PS as well.
Especially with now, there's a new resurgence of building, building type of games. This one fits right in. Honestly, you have to build your own home base and everything, and basically go out
hunt down bosses,
and you're a vampire, so you need blood as well, but stay out of the sun as well. So.
Another game you could steal humans.
Yeah, you can steal humans in this game too. Not wrong.
That's the best part.
That's the best part. Not wrong. Not wrong.
What the? Fuck.
Good callback.
Yeah. After that was Silent Hill, the short message, available now, free on PlayStation 5. This was a big surprise because it gave out very PT vibes. Anyone want to take this rating? Go right ahead.
They just ripped PT. Like I don't know what to say.
They didn't rip it.
I will.
Yeah,
they enhanced it.
They did. No, they didn't enhance it. Kojima's the only one that could enhance that game to make it great.
Thank you.
But
Isn't
they,
so
as soon as
ironic
I saw,
though that Silent Hill is doing a PT and then Kojima made PT.
No, I mean like they had great it would have been a smart business move if they didn't use something from PT to create something for Silent Hill because it was such a success. Yeah. It's just very interesting that it's like as they had to open up I think they could have cut their trailer a bit better so we're not getting distinct PT vibes right off the top, but as soon as you see that hallway and then as soon as you see the ghost, it's like I'm playing PT and then it's on repeat. And this person keeps it's the I think idea of PT. Maybe it was so far done when Kojima left that they're like, we have to do something with this. We invested so much money into this project. It doesn't make sense. I just think it would have made sense maybe to build this out into like a subsection of a bigger game instead of just releasing.
But here's the thing, though: Kojima doesn't own the concept of a ghost in behind a door and at the end of the hallway.
No,
so,
but
I'm sorry.
he does. But
I
how
disagree.
he did PT as a repetitive playthrough, that was historical and like groundbreaking in that
first time
respect
done
for the game industry. Like that was not. It was.
I mean, sure, yes, I agree with you, but like you kind of make it seem as if like this is literally just a PT knockoff, and it's like, yeah I don't know.
It is though.
It
is.
Yeah.
I'll give
I
you that.
accept it, but
I'll give you that.
It is.
I'll give you a
Guys,
perfect
I think
example.
we gotta play it.
But I'll give you
I
a
think
perfect
that's gotta be it.
example. In Returnal, there was go back to the trailers. There was a section where it transfers into first person and you're walking down a hallway. Go into every single comment at that point and everyone's like, that's PT. PT is uniquely a hallway with a spooky ghost and that's it. Like it's this minimalist version of what horror can be. And I totally agree with you, Camille. It was I'm not basing my judgments on the final product off this trailer. Because I think that's unfair. I will say that I just didn't really like the trailer only because it removed all that mystique and that almost magic that PT had, where PT came out and no one knew what it was. You look at this and you're like, oh, I know exactly what it is. It's PT. You have the woman, you have the hallway. Like, to me, it wasn't spooky.
It did, and it wasn't spooky because it didn't remove the magic. Like PT captured a very specific magic in the horror genre. You didn't see the ghosts. You had no idea what to do in that space, right?
Okay, well, hold on. You're basing.
Wait. Let me finish. It's very ominous, right? I think what it was not stealing the magic. I think it was not a smart move to try to make this stand out as something that people will want to play separate from like just automatically comparing it to PT. And it is the company that PT was created under. So it's like you're immediately putting up this game that obviously we cannot judge because we haven't played it yet. But you're immediately putting it into a discussion of I'm thinking PT, I'm going to compare it to PT. And that is like, that's a lot to compare it to. I don't think that's fair for the developers.
But that's the thing though. You're basing a gameplay experience that you actually like physically immersed yourself into based on a trailer like that. Like you're saying like, you're kind of misjudging it in a way that it's like, oh, it's PT. I'm not gonna like, yeah, I've been there, done that, got the multiple doorknobs. I don't know.
I'm still gonna play it, but I don't think it was smart of them to edit that trailer in that respect. If they're
I think it was smart. I think it was smart because they want to be able to get the people that like, oh, this is PT. Hell yeah, I want to play this. That's exactly what they were going for.
Fair. I'll take. It's kind of like a drug. Like I've been chasing the PT high forever. I'll take any little scrap of that I can. So I'm super excited for that.
But at that point, is it just like? Do you we haven't played? But at that point, depending on how this game plays, it could just be seen as like a money grab.
That's true.
I think that's what they set themselves up for. Like on the negative side is they set the expectation so high.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that it is a fair or a stretch comparison. I think you can see this, draw the comparison, what have you. But at the end of the day, if you play this game, you're like, well, I still like PT better. I think that's a bold and risky move for Konami to be like, we're going to double down on this beloved demo and now just base an entire game off of that without the creator and the talent behind it as well. We don't have, Norm Reedus or Del Toro. Yeah, exactly.
Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. And maybe that's their point, Steve. Like maybe it's like, hey, we spent so much money on that project. We still have these assets.
Yeah.
Let's just see what money we could get back from it.
Yeah, and I guess at the end of the day, we're all just going to base our opinion on the final product. I think it being free to play is a very smart move. Again, I just think that's a bold decision to kind of put that on the forefront. Like, here's our very first look of the game. But hey, I'm excited to play it. I want to try it.
Moving on to Silent Hill 2. We didn't get a release date for that one, did we? No, that was
just a wish list now.
Just a wish list, yeah.
Well.
Looks good though.
It looks good. It looks like it's done. Like I feel like they should have just been like, and out now.
That's what I kind of feel the same way as well, actually. But we just have to wait for that. And then there was Judas right after that. Go ahead.
Oh. No, I was to say, I think, and we saw quite a few, like this kind of encompasses a lot of the trailers we saw. There were a lot of like wish lists now and no actual release date. I think it's just a lot of studios are very gun shy about announcing a date and thinking, and with the potential that it could be delayed. So I think it's in regards to Silent Hill 2 and any of the other games, they're like, yeah, we got something, but we can't commit to a date right now until we know we're ready. So
yeah. That's fair.
Judas. Latest BioShock
Still don't know what this game's about.
It's basically BioShock, but it's fancier now. I mean, look, it looks really
good.
It looks good. It looks really good.
BioShock in space.
Right, yeah. Basically, yeah. And like I remember,
I like BioShock. I like space.
Yeah, like I had the girl, her arm was being printed, and I was like, oh, that looks pretty sick and everything. And it's just pretty. I would say it's very pretty.
So there is a PlayStation blog post up, written by Ken Levine, actually. And just a little snippet here. It does give a little bit of background information into the game. He says, in Judas, we give you a whole new world to explore, the corridors of the Mayflower, spacefaring city whose citizens are trained to spy on one another and tear each other apart for the slightest offense. Where machines control every aspect of business, art, and government, the ship's leaders try to turn you into something you're not, a model citizen. And you sparked a devastating revolution to tear it all down. So BioShock in space.
The only issue I have, which I'm like, great. I think this is kind of coming up on We Happy Few vibes, where it's like, it looks really cool, really pretty. Will it play really great? I want this to be like great, like play better than BioShock because that's very dated, and I want the story to be banging. Like I want it to be so great, but I feel like we may be seeing too much of just the same type of trailer over and over again. That then when you hop in the game, you're like, oh, this isn't quite what I expected.
Yeah,
I don't know. I get BioShock vibes. I see, like the plasma in one hand, the gun in the other hand. Yeah. Some nice traversal that you don't necessarily see in a BioShock game. BioShock is very boots on the ground, like you barely can move, other than the grab, like the hook in Infinite. But yeah, I totally see where you're coming from with the gameplay. I have all the faith in the world about the story, though. Ken Levine. Yeah. In any kind of story element, that's gonna be really something special.
Yeah, I do see the We Happy Few vibes of the whole scenario, the whole like scenery and everything as well. So it could be like the two merging together, and here's our child now. Here's Judas. So yeah, another wishlist game, and now you finally have a reason to pick up your PSVR because Metroid Awakening VR is on its way.
Metro.
Sorry. Sorry. Metro,
we've been wanting that Metroid game.
I do want Metroid as well now. Sorry, Metro Awakening. Thank you.
Nintendo's up next, probably. So
I hope so.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Anyone want to take this? I don't even know. Obviously.
This was the one that I was interested in. Like this looks like that. What potentially, and I'm not saying that this is going to be the case, but this looks like what Half-Life Alyx was to Valve VR. Okay. This is it for this for the PSVR too. This has that kind of vibe to it.
Yeah, I can see that
kind of vibe. It seems like a killer app.
It's I must say it's probably one of the better looking VR games. Like even when the opening scene, I was like, I mean, I probably said it as a joke, but I was like, wow, that fire actually looks really good. Like I get it, they look really, like, the graphics look really great and everything. So that's why I was really
Marcel and I were like,
yeah, we're like warming up. Like this fire is nice.
Oh, wow,
this is a good fire. All right, yeah, pretty neat.
Before you Metro games, they're good.
Yeah, very good. I'm just on the PlayStation blog again, and it says that this is a prequel to 2033, the first game in the series.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, they said that there was like a tagline at the end of the trailer for that.
Was there? I missed that.
Yeah. Okay. I know, I almost missed it too, but then I saw it was a Metro 2033. I was like, oh, okay, so it's probably prequel then.
All right. And then the one game that it won me over once someone went through a table, and that's literally Legends Tales, because like at first, and like the date kind of surprised me a little bit. Oh wait, is this the Legend Tales game? Because it says later this year, but didn't they say February 8th in the trailer?
Yeah, I think they said that it was like next week.
Yeah, I'm on the blog. It says later this year. Would February 8th be considered later?
February 8th was Helldivers.
No, but it said February 8th in the trailer.
No, it said it was something that it was coming out next week.
Yeah, that's why I was
it was a VR title that was coming out next week.
When we saw
that's
it,
so weird.
It didn't look ready.
I'm going back to the video.
Yeah.
Maybe the blog.
What was it? What was it called? Legends of what?
Legendary Tale. But it's basically an RPG multiplayer game as well.
Oh my god, you're right.
Right? It said it in the trailer.
Yeah.
I knew I wasn't going crazy. I was like, there's no way this, because it didn't look ready.
No, the text is clear on screen. February 8th, 2024.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, I thought
so
it
maybe
crazy.
coming out February 8th, or maybe coming out later this year.
Yeah, we don't know, because the blog doesn't even say it.
Technically, February 8th is later this year.
That is true.
I mean, it's not, yeah.
Oh.
They're not lying.
They're not lying. Nope. Yep, you're right. Yeah. It runs natively in 90 frames, but that was not 90 frames, so we saw it. And that's why we were like, I felt bad. Like, you watch Metro, and then you see this, and you're like, oh, I don't feel bad for you guys that just showed up here, because the game didn't look ready yet. So that's why when they said February, I was like, there's no way this game's coming out in February, not like this. But anyone want to take, it is multiplayer as well. There's different dark fantasy dungeons, quest monster bosses, and different skill trees as well, physics-based fighting. Like, didn't one of them like grab someone's head and like bashed it or something like that? Like, you're just punching people's heads and everything. Overall, the gameplay looked really interesting. I was pretty surprised by that, but I think that's pretty much it that I can talk about.
It gives me medieval vibes.
I got nothing else for you.
Yeah. Did any of you try Myth Force? It was like it looked like a Saturday morning cartoon game, and like it's a first person. It kind of reminded me of that.
I know what you're talking about, but I haven't tried it.
Even that had like this one had like the Captain America shield and Thor's hammer and everything. I was like, this is just, it's Avengers but fantasy. But yeah, that's coming out later this year. We'll see, or next week. We'll find out. Dragon's Dogma 2, March 22nd. I mean, I feel like we've seen everything about this game from Capcom, so that's just another one. As March 22nd is a busy date as well. Anyone want to talk about Dragon's Dogma or anything? Or
it looks cool. I probably won't play it though.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if we got a group from the podcast, I would try it, but I would not do it solo.
Same. Yeah.
Would you be playing Rise of the Ronin that comes out March 22nd as well?
Definitely.
I may have to dabble.
Yeah. You might have to fit some room.
Hands wet, yeah. It just looks like I think we're all itching for that Tsushima vibe.
Yeah.
So it's like it fills that, but then also the like having access to multiple weapons, because Ghost was very focused on like samurai sword combat, where it's like it's like you get guns and you have like it just looks like there's much more to do in combat. And probably gonna get me angry with facing some of these bosses, but that's Team Ninja.
Yeah, it was giving me like Ninja Gaiden vibes, but like Tsushima, like a world type of traversal and everything. And if it's anything like Ninja Gaiden, you're gonna be dying a lot. So that's for sure. And then that's also competing with Princess Peach that day as well. So like Peach
big day for the gamers.
Peach is a samurai or a ninja that day too, right? So come on, give Peach a chance. Until Dawn 2024. I'm actually surprised. Like I would have thought this would have been the first game to come to PC or something like that. I'm actually quite surprised it's taking this long for this game.
I think they're uniquely setting it up so that it correlates with the movie release.
Oh, that's right. They are doing a movie.
You know?
Could be.
Yeah, I think that's the only reason. It's the Last of Us effect of, hey, we got a movie coming out, play our game on the latest console. Don't worry about backwards compatibility. We're selling you a brand new version.
Yeah. So looking forward to that. I feel like everyone has experienced that game. This is the one that kind of kicked off, I feel like, choices you make in games, or not everyone will make it type of thing. So, and then the grand finale. I'm not even gonna bother. Camille, take it over.
We had effing Death Stranding 2.
All right, that's it. I'm out. Sorry, guys.
All right, that's it. That's all we gotta talk about. No, go right ahead.
It is so weird. You have a ventriloquist doll.
Yeah.
The BB's back, but it may be Matt Nicholson's BB.
Spitting out spaceships. Not even giving no thumbs up. Magic school bus out in the mouth.
Fragile's there, but she's not so fragile anymore.
No.
It also, like, it looks like that they're incorporating like weather events or like something to like nature is gonna be playing a bigger part. Like we saw some like avalanche. I think there was an earthquake. So like I'm interested in how that would play. Like I think like weather was really interesting in Death Stranding because it definitely changes up how you go through that world as a porter. So I feel like we're gonna have more obstacles dealing with these natural events. But like, man, I still don't understand what it's about, and I'm gonna have to watch this like maybe 5 more times to figure it out, and I'm down for it. Like it's just so beautiful to the eyes that like you cannot look away, and I think that's something that like Kojima does very well. And I know like Steve's probably like, oh my god, stop talking about Kojima, but it's like, how can you not talk about him when you see that trailer?
I think if anything, that trailer just made such a big flex about how that Decima engine can function. I mean, coming off of the Horizon DLC, that was one of the most gorgeous things I think the PlayStation has ever been able to render. But now we saw some of those shots, like Sam walking in the desert, and then there's the shot with him like in front of the moon. Like Kojima has such a way of cinematography, of creation. Like we talked about it before. He's an auteur, so giving him the freedom to just expound on whatever kind of story he wants, any kind of gameplay elements he wants, I'm all for it. The one thing that I thought was super interesting and super put all my worries to ease was like this whole concept of like what PlayStation's kind of sequels are in this day and age. You got God of War, Valhalla, Spider-Man 2. They're essentially new games just based in the same settings, like reuse like the same environmental assets and stuff like that. I was very worried with Death Stranding of like how is he going to sell me a game where I have to now cross the USA once again? Like, what's that game going to even be? Like, we already established the Strand network. We've already laid roads. We already did all this stuff. Now to see like, oh, you're not even, to my knowledge, worried about the US. Like, you're in this transcontinental journey and stuff like that. I'm like, hell yes. Like, put me in different, unique environments. Let me interact with those. I'm all about that. Give me unique vehicles and stuff like that. I'm really interested to see like what the like moment to moment gameplay is if this is still like delivery elements in there or anything like that. But beyond all else, I'll say that he is just knocking it out of the park with just weird storytelling. And Troy Baker, son of a gun, like that guy comes out and just steals the show
with the guitar.
Yeah,
that
Holy
was a
moly.
sick scene. That was really
that was cool. That was wicked cool.
Yeah.
And then like I mean it's like I could talk about Death Stranding 2 forever, and we won't because we do have to dissect it, and I'm probably going to bring it up in another episode in the future. but like it was disappointing. I lost my prediction of it coming out this year, but you know,
I'm actually surprised.
Seeing this,
Me too.
I'm okay with that. Like I could wait a little bit, because you know my brain needs to prepare for whatever Kojima has in store, and he does have in store a lot for us. Is that ventriloquist Guillermo del Toro?
It sounded
so.
like him,
right?
Yeah,
I think so.
And the guy with the I don't know. It looked like an SS like captain or whatever at the beginning. That's George Miller.
Yes. Yes.
Crazy.
Oh, that's why you look familiar. Oh, that's dope. That's actually pretty dope.
And then, of course, we saw Ellie Fanning's character as well. And that cat. Now I want a cat. Like, I feel like the cat is going to be taking our hearts away because Lou's not there anymore. So I don't know what's going to happen there. But I just want to understand how this will play into the story, because I think how Death Stranding ended, it could have just ended like that. So again, Kojima is really an artist at this point. I don't think he would have done a sequel if he didn't feel like it needed a sequel. So I'm hoping it really just gives more, like, it just doesn't feel like it was just made as like to be there and to make money. Although I'll take my money. I'll throw it at
if I could just say, like, making Guillermo del Toro like a stop motion puppet is pretty meta. Like it's
inspired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. It's so cool.
The other thing I'm super curious about is how much COVID played into this game. And I don't mean that from like a development standpoint. Like Kojima's gone on record to say like he essentially had to rewrite this entire thing because his version of this story was too accurate. And that's something that he's famous for. Like Metal Gear Solid 2 is scary how relevant and on point it is in today's day and age. And so is like Death Stranding, to be honest, with like, you know, all the seclusion and stuff like that. So I'm very interested to see like how the story is and how it reflects like humanity right now, because he does it in such a weird spot on way. Why would
that changes the timeline or fate? Like, thanks a lot, Kojima. You should have kept the original story.
Yeah, and I think more interesting to all the, you know, Death Stranding 2 hype is definitely like, I think PlayStation's flex of like, oh yeah, you thought Death Stranding 2 was just going to be the last Kojima game that you hear of. Well, we're working on this espionage to really celebrate what started his legacy in gaming. And that's, you know, they're saying it without saying it. It's Metal Gear, right? Like Metal Gear, we know Kojima from, you know, putting your controller down and hearing Psycho Mantis like tell you exactly what to do, right? And to change the points. Yeah. Like it's crazy to now see Kojima go back to that world. And I know, like, you guys mentioned off the top, like, yeah, you know, like let's just get the next game out first. But I am really excited to hear this, because like we see with OD, it's like more of like horror thriller vibes, and Death Stranding definitely played a lot with that as well. And PT, that was all horror. So it's like, I do want to see how this Kojima that has all this experience behind him would approach an espionage game and what that would look like in the, you know, more modern times. When we see that, I may be 90, but hey, also here for that.
I'm excited. Well, Steve actually flagged that it might be called Fizzin, which was the name under the Columbia Pictures banner.
Such a good.
So that was good on you, Steve, because you said that and I was like,
I was like,
anything.
Because I saw that there was a sign, I just couldn't tell what it said, and then someone just posted it on Twitter, and I was like, oh, I wonder if this is the name of it. I just did a Google search, and pretty much like a bunch of articles have gone up and saying that this might be the name of the game. So who knows? It may, you know, it's Kojima.
Do you think it's like? Do you think it could be alluding to something?
It could be. It could be, or it just could be the project name.
Yeah, Kojima said it's the project name in the tweet.
Yeah.
Oh, did he? And that's what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's project name.
The thing is too, like, this is like just not a game. It is like an experience that like will be a film, will have like music. Is this just like a really artistic way of saying like it's pretty much Death Stranding, like to that level of how you think of a game? It like incorporates cinema, or is it further? Because like also now I'm just getting kind of blurred on understanding, like, is it going to be more similar to what OD is supposed to be, even though we don't quite know what OD is going to be completely, right? Yeah. So there's a lot of room for speculation. But it's very interesting. Like, I wonder what his life insurance is. Like, nothing could happen to Kojima in the next 5 to 10 years because there's so many projects that are dependent on him right now.
Knowing him, he probably
for major studios.
He probably like uploaded himself to the cloud already. Like he's probably he's probably up there already. You know, the servers.
Probably.
So. Camille, are you gonna be wearing?
You got the Walt Disney treatment.
Yeah,
I know, right? Yeah, he's in chronostasis. He's just like cryostasis. Sorry, I was like chronostasis. He's not a dinosaur.
Are you gonna be dressing up with some gloves on your shoulder there, Camille?
I mean, I thought they were just like a really creative way of doing a mask, but then it like lights her cigarette, and I'm like. Okay.
And then it was moving the puppet's head. I was like, what's going on here?
Sure.
The wild mind
hey, if they
of
do
Kojima.
Things for me, mine as well, probably. Yeah, sure.
Right. And so I mean, like overall, it's things we wanted to see from the state of play. Like, and like for me, like if I had to give it like a number, I'll give it like a 7. You know, it was pretty good. But yeah. I don't know if anyone else want to tack on anything on top. Anyone who wants to tack on anything to this show.
No,
my
cat here. He definitely wanted to chime in on Death Stranding. I just wanted to kind of.
Here there's another cat. My cat just woke up as well too, actually. So.
I just wanted to bounce off what Riley was saying before of like all these like legacy IPs that are kind of lying dormant. Mm-hmm. It's not even just legacy IPs that PlayStation isn't talking about. It's any of their first party. And everything shown today is second party and third party, and I think it's becoming very not concerning by any stretch of the imagination.
Death Stranding, but that's a third party studio.
Yeah, it's just
and Team Ninja is.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'd say like because I think Team Ninja is sort of it's like has the same kind of deal as like Bungie, where they're still an independent studio, but they're kind of under the PlayStation Studios umbrella. So yeah, but you're right, 100%. Like there hasn't been like a true first party game announced since really Spider-Man. At least that's the most recent one.
Yeah, so
we know that they've been going through issues too in terms of they've canceled like half of the live service projects these teams were working on. I'm ready for like I want to be excited for the next big first party game from them.
Yeah, I just want something, just them to talk about any of their first party projects, but otherwise,
I think that might have been like some of the stuff that unfortunately was revealed in those Insomniac leaks. I think that was slated to be like some like their next first party big hit, give them a little bit of breather while they kind of start or continue to develop their other IPs. Like I know everyone was really hoping to hear something from Naughty Dog. We didn't hear anything. I feel like if we didn't hear anything yet, do we think we're going to hear anything for the year for first party? I don't think
if anything, it would be June at Summer Game Fest if there is anything. Because I'm thinking the same thing with Sony Santa Monica too. Because we have obviously with Valhalla being released, and that's what they've been working on. But and Naughty Dog had The Last of Us 2 remastered with No Return. But from my understanding, at least from the knowledge that I have of at least of those two studios, that those two projects were kind of like run by the junior team, basically, or kind of like first time developers, or like a separate team within the studios. So because right now, because the current rumor is at least for Sony Santa Monica, that Cory Barlog might be working on a sci-fi game, and that's what he's been working on this whole time. So, so we don't know, but we don't know that yet. And Naughty Dog, we don't know. Okay, are they steering towards Last of Us 3 or an original IP that's been rumored for a while? But yeah, I mean, we also don't know anything about what's Guerrilla's next project. They just finished Burning Shores, and we haven't heard about what they're working on, other than maybe the potential multiplayer game. But who knows if that's what's there on the next horizon, or is that or are we talking like another IP? I don't know.
Yeah. Are you surprised that there was no Spider-Man?
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes. I was like, what bad timing for that.
Yeah,
Sony
why would
post?
you tease that?
Like, why would you do that? Why would you?
I feel like they could have waited a day. Yeah.
It could, I think it was just a bad marketing and communications. Like, Sony is usually really tight on that stuff. But to put something out, even though it's Sony Pictures or, like it's not PlayStation, you wouldn't really want to set up false expectations. And I think, that's kind of what I have.
I don't think that they set up any expectations. It's like Sony can do whatever the heck they want. And I don't think it's like bad timing of just Sony will produce it because they produced this creator on a creator series before with The Last of Us. And so like it's literally in the trailer. It's just a table that says creator on creator. I think it's Spider-Verse versus with the Insomniac team, and I don't think that and they didn't announce anything in The Last of Us. Like the precedent that they set with those is that it's just a fun conversation, and I expected zero from Insomniac about that.
On the day.
Yeah.
On the day,
I found it was a little
people look into it when they want to look into it.
I used to work in comms and PR, and it's like you don't usually stay away from usually play it extra safe. But you're right. Like it's clearly in the tweet, like what it is. I was just hoping for a little bit of a stretch there, and they were. Like,
nah.
I
mean, and I think too, like PlayStation didn't share that one in particular, which I flagged, and I was like, that there's a reason they're not, and they're either trying to downplay it or they don't want to give people the wrong idea on this front. That said, I'm sure they could have waited 24 hours because
that was like a tweet
no
that was scheduled last month.
People are going to read into it.
Yeah. That was a tweet that was scheduled last month, and they're like, "Oh shoot, the state of play. Well, it's already gone out. Like, what can we do?"
Like, maybe they'll have news during that. Maybe, who knows?
So then I guess we get like hopefully Spider-Man DLC or New Game Plus June.
Well, we're owed for that. Yeah, like that was supposed to be
a long time
last year, and then they delayed it, right? So, like,
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get. That's something they could just put out a tweet or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, this is out now. Like the update's out at the end of the week.
Yeah.
Oh, and also it comes with like a new costume or something if they want to be fun. They want to have to do something for the community.
On my tinfoil hat, this is the last point. Like, if that tweet was scheduled a month ago, okay, or like a while ago. And maybe because of the leaks, it kind of took the Spider-Man team to be like, hey, you know what? Let's hold back on this New Game Plus content. Let's hold back on any extra content. Let's see if we can make it better from what the rumors and like everything has been out there. So we could really give fans an experience that they won't necessarily see fully coming. So maybe, hopefully, fingers crossed.
We'll find out. If not, you'll be waiting until June to hear anything. So
I'll be 90 by then.
Oh my gosh. Well, how about that Suicide Squad? Has anyone played it on the podcast here yet?
I just started the tutorial.
Okay.
Yeah, I've been playing it.
Yeah. How many hours you been in?
I'm probably like 3.
3? Okay.
Steve, not super far into it.
TV?
Like an hour. Barely enough to have an opinion on it. Yeah.
Same. Although the tutorial's feeling kind of long.
It is kind of long. I would give you that. Like,
I don't think it's actually long. I think it's just like the excitement to want to play as these characters is like more of the thing that I want rather than go through a tutorial. But I understand the process.
So I guess besides Caboose, I've played 6 hours of the game last night, and I don't know. I feel like there's a lot missing. I feel like from this game so far. Like I'm here for the story 100%. I feel like the story is definitely the story and presentation definitely the strong point of this game. Well, 100%. But I just feel like there's like a lot of things missing, and it just feels empty to me. I don't know. Like I don't know what this game's trying to be. And I'm also trying to figure out a reason, like after I complete the story, what is my purpose to go back into the game? Because I feel like once I'm done the story, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Like I don't. We're like.
I guess the story will be fleshed out with new characters being added and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I guess you get more story content will be the incentive, but
the additional stories are free, right?
It's the best. Yeah, it's all free. I believe.
Okay. But yeah, besides that, it just feels like pretty empty and. I don't know. I don't know what I was really expecting from this game, and I was kind of hoping that it would have been kind of more of like the Guardians game, where you can if you were to single player mode, you could swap between. This one you can't even do that, and there's certain enemies where this is one enemy where if you get he's a sniper. If you get too close to him, he will like literally teleport elsewhere. Like he'd be like, nope, like I'm on long range. He'll just teleport, instantly gone. And
wait, hold on. I only just got through the tutorial. Once you pick a character, that's it. You can't switch out.
So you could like, when you're in a mission, you can't swap characters.
Oh,
like outside of the mission, you can.
Outside the mission, you can swap anytime you want. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, but like while you're in a mission, but like there's like hordes of different enemies, and like one of them, like you'll be like, okay, well I'll use Deadshot for this because he has a sniper. He'll be perfect just for me because like the bot is not like, you can't even tell the bot like, well, hey, can you focus on this guy then? Because I'm playing as Harley Quinn, and like I can't, like she's using pistols, it's doing like chump change on this person. And like you need a sniper, and like you can't even like swap to that. Where I feel like that would like clearly like single player wasn't the mindset of this game. It was always going to be.
I was about to say, it seems as if like it's just more focused on you got to play a co-op, otherwise it's not super great single player experience.
Yeah,
it kind of like.
No,
go ahead.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
No, I haven't got that far yet, but I was just gonna say like it kind of seems like that's like an old school type of restriction to have there.
Yeah.
Where it's like you're just stuck with that player for a mission when you're used to like if you have multiple players available and you could play as them. I feel like nowadays it's more common to just automatically think that you're able to switch. Like when I saw the trailers, I thought that you could be able to just switch throughout whenever you want as different characters.
I thought same so too.
Maybe that is like really taxing on the server, and maybe that's why they don't do it.
Well, like it's not even like, because there's gonna be an offline mode as well.
True.
And like that still means you can't even do that. Like I'm in a private lobby by myself, and so like, and I know the game is online only as well. But like you could swap through like right, like I had like at one point I had all 4 characters emoting. I just swapped like through them and just test it out, and it was like instant for me. So I can't see why you can't like swap to someone like, oh, okay, let me just focus on Deadshot, and then I can snipe this enemy who's giving me a problem right now. You know, so I don't know. It's just
That's
like
fair.
there's definitely like it wasn't mindset for that, and like presentation and everything else is great. And I also feel like they relied a lot on the Harley hype as well in the story mode. Once you guys go through that, maybe you might have the same opinion or might not. But I feel like they're really like relying on her hype just to like carry the story, which I kind of want to learn more about the other characters. It just seems like she's like every 2 seconds she's like saying, I'm like, Carly, please, like I know you're crazy and everything, but like give the other characters like a little spotlight here. Like I feel like she's definitely carrying like the load of this, you know. So I don't know. Yeah, I'll try to finish the game tonight as well, but I'll see how the rest of it go. But so far, it's just, I don't know, it's meh kind of thing.
Wait, finish the game, like
the story
Sarah.
mode.
How long's the story?
It's not that long. I heard 8 hours.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I heard like 9-10 hours.
Yeah.
That seems
I think I'm
very low.
actually like already past the halfway point after playing 6 hours, and oh, that's
Wait,
another.
what?
Yeah,
I feel like that should be more time.
Yeah.
And like this is me like going at my like slow pace and everything. Like because you do see like certain things as well. Like there's a Batman scene. That scene's awesome. 100% great scene. I don't want to even like spoil it for you guys or anything. But when you're there, you're like, feel free to write it in our chat. Be like, holy crap, that was like, that's it. You know, it was cool. And I feel like the game was showing some good variety after that. But then after that, it's just like, all right, go to that building at the top of the map right now. There's no like fast travel or anything. You literally have to swing from rooftop to rooftop, and like there'll be enemies spawning randomly. Half of the times they don't even like know you're there. I literally stood in front of an enemy right in front of him. And he didn't even do anything. I'm like, oh, okay. And I shot him in the back, and he's like, ow, stop that. And just like kept on looking on the ground and everything. I'm like, what are you, like, shoot me. Like, what are you doing? And like, it's just, I don't know. It's just like, there's a lot of traversal and like stuff that you don't have to do. And then every time you finish a mission, you get like there's a big old cutscene that plays. And like for nothing really, just to be like, you got this one gun that's actually not even better than the gun you have right now. I'm like, well, why'd you even what is this? And then there'll be like a one traversal you'll go over and like go to this mission now, and then it's literally like another cutscene just to talk to someone, and that was the mission. I was like, for like 2 seconds, and that was it. It's like, this big like splash, and like you're a number 1 player, because there's also like a leaderboard as well in the game. It's like you're number 1 player, and I'm like, yes, I'm always number 1 player. I'm playing by myself. Like, of course. If I was not
Riley energy, yeah.
If I was not number 1, I'll be questioning things. I'm like, why am I second? I don't get it. Like, like.
Well, I just looked it up. Apparently, the story, like you said, is like 9 to 10 hours. Yeah. But like with the side missions, it's supposed to be like 20, and like a completionist run is 20 to 30.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
A lot of those missions are the same. Like you're on a rooftop, like the same tutorial you were doing, shooting and jumping off platform. There's a lot of that. I would say like.
I'm sorry, but when half the game. When half of the game is side content, that's not great. Like I can understand. Okay, maybe if there's not a lot of side content, like maybe like 4 or 5 hours of it, I can see it like pushing from like a 9 to 10 hour short, like a storyline to like 15. I'm like, okay, I can see that. But like literally half the time is basically for side quests, like that. You really have to sell me on the side quests in order for me to be able to be excited to be able to do it. Mm-hmm. Most often in games, I usually kind of avoid the side quests unless I'm really into it. Like Spider-Man has some great side quests, but with it makes you want to be able to do it. In games like this, I'm just going to be focusing on the story, and that's
it. Has to convince you, like while you're playing, like, oh, actually, I want more of this. I get what you're saying because I like that too. I usually play stories or play games for the story. If it's like more open world, even like something like Tears of the Kingdom, I usually start with playing the story, and then like throughout that world points that interest me. I find myself
side quests.
Yeah.
We know that's our game of the year.
I know it is our game. It's just perfect. But some games can't be perfect, but they could be okay. Like think of Senua's Sacrifice, right? 8-hour game, right? Main story. Really good story. Suicide Squad probably won't live up story-wise to that.
So I want to counter that, because when it comes to like a game like Senua Saga where it's like 8 hours, that's a whole experience right there. Like that, you're playing it from beginning to end. It's like, yeah, there might be some side things here and there, but you're pretty much like completing at least 95% of the game in that 8 to 10 hours. In this, when you have to have like half the, like basically an extra 10 hours of side content, you're not playing the full experience if you're just playing the game. I'm all for short games. I'm all for give me those kind of short experiences, because that can last a little bit longer than the 70 to 80 hour little RPG kind of slogs. But it just seems that they focus more on the gameplay of this than they did the story, even though Rocksteady's storytelling is so good. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's why we appreciate the Arkham series so much, because it revolutionized superhero games. The superhero games before the Arkham series was terrible. There was no... Yeah. You could argue like maybe 1 or 2 might be good, but majority of them were all bad. The Arkham series was the first time we actually be like, oh, this is what it means to have a superhero game. And Rocksteady revolutionized that. It just seems that in this one, their storytelling is great, but maybe it's just the gameplay kind of far outweighed the story. And I'm sorry, there's not a lot of compelling gameplay that I've been seeing and playing that's going to want to keep me going for another 10 hours.
Do you think, and I know we're all pretty quiet here on this topic because we haven't put so much time in it to generate a full opinion. So this is just first impressions kind of thing. But do you think this may be I think back to Avengers game, that was a service game, right? Do you think it's because of that? And I know this is not service, but it is, but they're not saying service. Do you think it was hey, this was supposed to be fully live service, marketed that way, and to have this short story with content coming out and then kind of rolled it back?
It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny how they mentioned they didn't want to be like Avengers, but in a way they're everything they're doing is it's going towards that. You have your story, then you have your things afterwards, and the same looting that you had to go to get different weapons and everything. I'm like, well, that's just Avengers. What are you talking about?
You're just playing Avengers, buddy.
Yeah, you're just playing Avengers.
I think in a way, at least with Avengers, they were really kind of hyping up the the different missions aspect. Like you basically get to choose. You kind of like your Avengers, the war room, and you get to kind of choose everything. And to like they were kind of advertising like that's kind of the compelling portion of the game. And then people were surprised at how good the single player campaign was. Like that in some cases, including me, I thought that was kind of the best part of that game was the single player campaign. But with this, it just seems that they kind of thrown everything like in the kitchen sink at it. And I don't know, like I'd be willing to, okay, again, yeah, you're right that we haven't really played a lot of it just as of yet. But to me, it's just like, from what I've been seeing from other people who've been playing it, I think people have been enjoying the story. It is fun to a degree, but I'm not going to spend 20 hours in this. I'll do it with Marcel. Basically, I'm just going to play the story, and then that's kind of it. And then, hey, if it's a good 8 to 10 hour experience, then awesome, good job. But if even the side quest is like not going to be compelling, then like I can definitely see why people would be upset by it. And I mean, there's nothing wrong with say like a 7 out of 10 game, which seems to be kind of potentially this might actually end up maybe even potentially a 6. There's nothing wrong with that. But it just makes me think, okay, if this is what they could be able to produce, like, because how long Rocksteady's been working on this? Like 8 years at this point?
9 years.
9 years.
9 years since Arkham Knight. I'm like, what did they do in that time? Like,
that's why I'm saying I feel like this was supposed to be marketed more as a full live service game with all of that time in development, the flack that live service games had, the unfortunate flop of Avengers and the live service portion of that game. It's like they kind of backtracked and was like, hey, so like, let's not market like that. Let's not do that. And like, although we have those features and like, maybe it will happen, that it will become more of that. But I really do think based off how like your experiences are so far, Marcel, in the game, like no way you go into creating a Suicide Squad game to only be 8 hours in campaign when you have an all-star cast of voice actors.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah.
I need to know, does Brainiac sound like Lucius Malfoy's yelling at you, or does he throw his voice a little bit for the character?
6 hours in, I haven't even seen Brainiac.
Oh, okay.
You haven't even heard Brainiac speak yet?
No. There's 2 people I haven't heard yet. It's him and
that's wild.
And Superman.
Jeez.
Actually, no, that's a lie. I heard Superman already because of the Hall of Justice. So
the Hall of Justice, yeah, you can interact with him.
Interact with all the little cuts, with the.
Oh yeah, that's the part I was watching you play.
The holograms you see.
Yeah, see, that part is like that's just good side content that I would totally love to do. I would love to go through the Justice League Museum.
That's the thing. There's a lot of
really
great lore in the game, and I'm like, well, why didn't we get like a Justice League game before this? You know, like there's so much detail in those other areas as well. Like
you bring up a very good point. Would this game be better if we had a Justice game first? Because imagine it. We had a Justice League. Imagine this. We had a Justice League game where at the end of the game, Brainiac takes over. Yeah. And that's the cliffhanger. And then the next game, the sequel, is the Suicide Squad has to now kill the Justice League. How cool would that be? Yeah. Like, that's a cool twist that hasn't been done in the sequel. I would love to be able to see that.
Because I don't know.
But to your point, does that fix the gameplay at that point?
I don't know. I think maybe they could have fleshed it out a little bit better with the Justice League game. I think if they had a game in between, maybe. But
yeah. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. Like, I think narratively, like you'd be more invested in the characters that are, living or dying in that, in that sort of, if we had that build up prior. But I do think, like, for what it is and everything like that, like, it is kind of cool because, like, it does carry on from the villains that were introduced in Arkham Asylum and all that stuff. So there's a lot of that content where, if you're a fan who played through the Batman Arkham series, like, there are references to like all of those characters kind of scattered about, and maybe some of them show up, maybe so stuff like that is like I really appreciate that element of the shared universe where they do kind of dip their toes into what has happened prior and everything that's happened to Batman since then and all that stuff. So, and in terms of gameplay and story, like I'm enjoying it, but I'm definitely looking forward to playing more.
So pretend that the side stuff doesn't exist and you only had like that 8 hours of story and gameplay, is that contained experience like good so far for in your guys' experience of playing? Like, are you enjoying at least that, even though it is short?
I'm erasing Marcel with his making his face.
The reason why is because the traversal is like it's so mediocre. Like you'll have to go all the way across. You're literally swinging across, and then you have that cooldown. So you're doing like for Harley Quinn, you're doing swing, and then like she drops down, and then you just swing, and you get like just get me to the other side of the next cutscene at this point. You know, like. Or like, because you can't select different missions. Like, there's even one mission where like you go try to fight someone, and then the game, and then clearly you're not ready for that. But like, they didn't even give you a chance to show you like, hey, you got your ass whooped. You're not ready for this. The game is like, you're not ready for this smoke. I'm like, well, how do you know? Like, I could have figured it out, you know. But like, if not, don't even show me that mission. Just let me see the next cutscene. Like, why am I swinging across? And they just want you to like swing across to from rooftop to rooftop, so you can like fight enemies that some of them ignore you, and then or just like I don't know. It's just I feel like if they were just buying time to the next scene, you know, like it's not needed.
So are you saying like there's no like in your opinion
there's no fast
you don't
travel,
see
nothing, so.
like but see I don't care about fast travel, like especially when you have a game like Spider-Man. I know it's like a bit different because traversing is so much fun.
Yeah.
Like you're able to do tricks. You have so much variety of like how you could swing.
Yeah, but
you could
Spider-Man
dive, you could use the wing.
consistently swings, while this one you're hitting the ground at some point.
So is it that you're hitting the ground, or it's like there's not like that like more stylized way of traversing, if that makes sense, like more variety in like how you traverse?
Think of Spider-Man as the Porsche, and you're driving a lemon.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Like you're like Spider-Man, you can do all these tricks. You have the wingsuit, you're flying all across like nothing. Like you feel like you're Superman. And that in a game that has Superman, you can't even get like the jetpack you have is like malfunctioning half the time. Like it's faulting through because it doesn't like it only carries so much gas that I don't know what's going on with that jetpack. So
that's been my biggest issue so far. Has basically been the traversal. I can't seem to get a lock on it. It's not as smooth.
That's not fluid. Yeah, it's not fluid.
It's like it's not smooth as like swinging through New York or grappling hooking across Gotham City. Like it doesn't feel right. It just no matter how many times I try. Especially because I've now done the tutorial twice, if you count the closed alpha that I did back in November, and I still can't get it right. I'm still constantly falling, and it doesn't seem like it's a fault of my own. It just seems like it's not enough time for you to be able to do it properly and smooth. That there's like it's almost like there's no point. Like I've yet to figure out which character I could choose because all the like other than maybe King Shark, at least then it's like he's got some pretty good jumps, but. Yeah. Beyond that, everyone else's is kind of like it's just you're right. It's almost like everything is faulty.
Yeah,
it's almost like skill based traversal.
Yeah,
which is like difficult. It's difficult.
Or
like it is much more difficult. Yeah, it is.
Force parkour.
So stiff. Yeah, it feels like really stiff. Yeah.
So, but like story, I'm intrigued in the story. Presentation, absolutely like the face expressions and. Like even like how like this like someone's talking like a face reaction like crinkle like it's the outstanding hands down. The homage to like the previous games as well is definitely there as well, and like there's different lores like it's all that stuff is great, but like overall I just feel like after that it's just literally off a cliff. Sadly, I don't know. So
yeah, I'm in it for the story.
Maybe something at the end might change that, but I don't know. So
we'll see.
Yeah. I haven't killed anyone yet, so.
So no Justice League killing for you, God.
No, not in my timeline. No.
Right.
After that, we would like to send out our condolences to everyone who's been affected with any of the layoffs, and there's I don't know, there was one today, I think, or
there was some at GameSpot
or the room
GameSpot and Sega. I saw today.
Yeah, and even probably potentially.
Oh wait, GameSpot as well. I did not see that one.
Yeah, I saw a friend of mine post that she was safe, that she's staying at GameSpot, but apparently there was layoffs today. I don't know who was affected but yeah, as far as I know, that happened today too.
And apparently, something might even come up with Ubisoft, like kind of restructuring as well down the road, because I think they're like the 6th biggest gaming company, like now on the list like that. So
yeah,
maybe down the road.
And they've only done like 120 layoffs, I think.
And they're mostly, I think, Montreal for that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as of 31 days, 6,100 plus have been laid off. That I don't know. I have no words. That's crazy.
Man.
That is
I think it's like, yeah. Sorry,
gross.
Go ahead,
Yeah.
Steve. V, you were gonna talk?
Oh, you just said gross.
No, I was just saying it was gross and yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a real reflection. Like I'm getting tired of talking about these layoffs, and I'm tired that they're happening because it's so frequent. Like I understand, it's been a tough time in tech and in gaming, even though they're making a lot of money still. I think like the result of this, specifically in gaming and game devs, has to do with the structure of how game devs work. Like it's per project based, how they're hired. Well, not how they're hired, but usually like how their teams work. And unfortunately that working on a project, then it being laid off to then find another studio to work on a project for, then be laid off, like that is so old and tiresome. Like it is so much better to just nurture your talent to work on multiple projects. And like that just is the standard for the whole dev team. Rather than, and like, yes, you have some studios that do that, but the majority of how speaking to my dev friends and how it is structured, it's just unsustainable. And we've hit that breaking point, and you're seeing that so much now. And I hope this just triggers like a movement for like, unionizing devs, something.
Yeah. Elmo, can you save us?
Elmo.
Yeah, come on, Elmo. We need you.
It really did go to show. It really did go to show like how much executives just could not have the foresight to see throughout COVID, because so many banked on, this pandemic is going to last forever. Which if you ask like any of us or anyone with a brain, everyone would say no, it's not going to last more than a year or two. And people who are spending money, like so much money on video games, that's not going to last, right? That's not a realistic expectation to have on the market. So why not just sit on what we've already been doing? Like what Camille said, just prioritize investing in our staff, our developers and everything like that. Don't upscale 100% only now to have to descale and in order to save costs. But yeah, it's just crazy how many executives just could not see the forest through the trees with COVID, and now all the developers are paying for it.
Yeah, it's kind of even like the same thing with like how with the Suicide Squad, for example. I'm sure some executives like, right now it's all about live service. That was like years ago.
Yeah.
Well,
I think that's like a delay though of like, to Steve's point, like because of COVID, it's like everyone just thought the world was like stopped, and it did for a lot of us. But unfortunately, our outlooks and perspectives of how we want to play games, what we want to experience, changed significantly out of the pandemic. And it's like, some games that might have done well pre-pandemic just ain't gonna cut it now. We have a different outlook. So I think it's weird to me to be like, how could executives and like the people hiring not foresee this to happen? Like not foresee that the pandemic would eventually end and not have a plan in place there for the people. And really, I think it just comes down to, unfortunately, they didn't care. Like I don't know what else to say. Like they didn't.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
To put
that's
a
fair
plan
to say.
in place, right? Yeah. Like if you're going to scale that drastically during a pandemic, what is the plan, right? Like I don't know.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
There is no plan, though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is that what we're going to end up seeing? Is there's going to be right now everything seems hunky dory. We just came off like one of the best years in video game almost in history. Think of the development cycles on all AAA major games right now. They're 4 or 5 years. Wait until the end of the 2020s. We are going to see a cataclysmic decline in games coming out, quality, and just viability in the industry. Like it's going to be massive, and we can all draw back to, that happened because of 2023, 2024, and maybe even 2020. Who knows? But the ramifications are crazy.
Yeah. Well, we're at a major pivoting point now because I think the way content is delivered and consumed is shifting radically. So we're going to see like a lot of, like, for example, part of the layoffs at Blizzard led to one of their new projects, the survival game, being canceled, and then them taking members of that team and dividing it into smaller projects. Because that better fits the Game Pass model, which is like new game this month, new game this month, new game this month. So that, like, we're going to see a lot of transitioning there, and like a downscaling of the AAA investments, because it's just it is unsustainable. Like, just the scale and the risk involved with something like that, even with a well-known IP like Suicide Squad or like even like Prince of Persia or something like that. Like, these things are going to change in scale and shape and scope because they have to. And that's the way that content's being consumed now. So we'll still have the big games and stuff like that. And, I think that there's a way forward for contractors and some of the people laid off. But I mean, it's a real reality check when these things sort of shift right in front of us.
Yeah. Speaking of Prince of Persia, people, buy the game. $300K is not enough. By the way,
please
buy the game for the love of God.
It's so good.
It's so good. It's right now. I put it in like number one as my game of the year kind of like contender right now. Like,
easy. I think for me too.
It's so good.
And to the YouTube comments, no, we didn't get paid to say that. It's generally good.
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
I think it's
Metroidvanias I've ever played.
I love the YouTube comments.
We're in this weird time. You know what Riley was saying? It's like media, how we consume media is so different. And I think we have like, people who have worked in the industry who have seen a lot of games, played a lot of great and terrible games because, of our jobs, and see that treasure because we gave it a chance to be played. I think the issue with Prince of Persia, not a lot of people were willing to give it a chance in a year or in a time where you had all these big releases and where it's just not trending. And it's like we are consuming trending media. I think the mass like consumers, that is what they're doing. They're consuming trending media. But games are so good right now that even like games that you wouldn't have given it a second thought turn out to be so great.
It's Pal World.
It's so unfortunate. Everyone's playing
Pal World effect.
I blame Pal World, and it's ridiculous. 19 million. Steve being one of them. I was one of them as well. 19 million, like 12 million on Steam and 7 million on Xbox. That is the third biggest Game Pass game launch ever. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, biggest third-party Game Pass launch ever, I think.
Yeah.
It's funny not working in the gaming industry right now, and at work everyone's like, "Hey Sammy, have you heard about this game called Pal World?" I'm like, "Yes, indeed, I have."
Who hasn't?
Yeah.
Have you tried it yet, Sammy? Or
no? I'm probably gonna pick it up pretty soon though, because like I just gotta. It's one of those things I have to play it before Nintendo really comes for it.
Yeah.
So
just watch out for PAL number 69. I'm not even joking. Watch out for that one.
Oh my God! Yes.
You didn't hear about that one?
That one's wild.
That one is.
Oh my God!
That one's insane.
I don't even want to know. I'll find out.
You will find out. Oh, you will find out. I saw it on the internet. I was like, "What?" I'm glad I stopped playing this.
Why does when Marcel says that, it sounds like a threat? Like you'll find out.
Because you will find out. Steve knows.
It is a threat.
Steve knows.
That's how people are torturing people by PAL number 69. Yeah.
Just out of curiosity, do you think like Ubisoft has like a stigma to like a stink to them when people are like, "Oh, play this game." Who's by Ubisoft? They're like, I don't know, type of thing.
I think partially because it's the reputation that they've had over the past couple of years. Like they've been trend chasing for so long with NFTs, games of service, battle royales, and
just like Far Cry, oh yeah, it's just another Far Cry. It's just another tower search and discovery, blah blah blah. But
or their game's going on sale next week and just came out today. You're like, what? Like,
Exactly, yeah, and I think it's unfortunate because like they were building up really good trust when they were, because I remember when they were potentially being bought. I can't remember what company that it was. They were like gonna go. They were going through like a hostile takeover, and they were like, okay, we got to turn our reputation around and like basically just keep making more and great games. And they were doing that, and they were gaining a lot of trust within the community with the amount of games they were putting out, the good quality games, and then somehow they basically just started to kind of keep going into trend getting, and it eroded that player's trust. Like you can only you can't like you can only lose a person's trust for so much before they actually be like, no, I don't care anymore. Yeah. And I think they just kind of probably saw that this was like, even though the trailer looks cool, like the marketing looks good, and critically it's acclaimed, like it's a great game, but to a player that like I think they just sees Ubisoft and they're like, their games past games have sucked. I'm gonna wait. So,
well, hopefully they can change that around. Steve Saylor, what's going on for you for the rest of the week?
I'm just gonna be playing some Suicide Squad, and maybe hopefully getting some thoughts on that. So don't have a heck of a lot of work going on just because while I'm dog sitting, it's just, I'm very limited in what I can do. So I'll hopefully be able to do something. I might potentially have a new thing coming out soon. It just depends on, when it gets approved / edited. So maybe check some of that. I don't know.
All right.
But follow my socials and you'll find out.
There you go.
There you go.
Is it Spider-Man DLC?
Yeah, is it?
I'll post it the same day. As an announcement.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Amazing.
Steve V, how about yourself?
I'm just gonna be poring over this Death Stranding trailer. I gotta rewatch that. I gotta go through all the little details.
What about
There's
Suicide
probably a lot
Squad?
hidden in there. Yeah.
or you could be playing that, that Silent Hill game that are later.
That's true.
Yeah,
true.
P2. I'll be playing P2.
P2. Yeah. Awesome. Riley, how about yourself?
I feel like now that this is over, it's going to be a little more chill. We have some games coming up, and some controllers coming out, which is kind of exciting. Xbox announced a new one today. Actually,
yeah, they look great.
So,
look really good.
Yeah, and they're all unique, which is kind of interesting because the way that the vapor hits it changes the pattern on it for each individual one. So each one's kind of like a snowflake, which is kind of neat.
Those fat clouds, those fat vape clouds.
Which is funny because I think when the Series X came out, they're like, don't make your Series X vape, but here we are.
Here we are, full circle, baby.
Here we are. No, so like a lot of stuff coming out. It's February is going to be crazy. Yeah. There's even more software coming out, and then I guess we wait for Nintendo's next presentation, whenever that might be.
Are they having a direct in February? Looking at you,
to see if you give any nudges.
Historically,
they have for like the past 5 years.
You blinked. I'll take it.
Like early March. One was like early March. So
okay.
So we're due for something from that.
Yeah, like next week, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like probably not next week. Do you think next week?
I don't know.
What do you think?
I don't know.
I feel like it's usually
like mid-Feb.
Yeah, that's what I was. Like usually like 11th, 13th, 4th. They like to play in the teens.
Historically,
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends. I have no idea what their plans are. So I'm hoping we see more soon.
What does Nintendo like to play with, Camille?
Oh my God. Okay. No, stop. Oh my God.
As
soon as I saw your face, Steve, I was like, I shouldn't have said anything.
Okay. All right. We'll keep that in the back pocket. All right, Marcel?
Camille is best friends with Doug Bowser. He follows her. So, Camille?
Yeah, he does, but I'm not best friends with him. Please don't let him hate me.
Just like good friends.
Yeah. All right, Camille, what is going on for you this week? Setting up for any directs you're going to be showing up in?
Man, to show up in a direct, that would be crazy. I just had to sneak in there and then they'd have to get me out of the building. But anyways, no, I am not going to be in any directs, but I'm going to be mending my back. I hurt my back really badly. I wasn't able to walk for quite some time. So I'm now walking. I have a cane and I am going to be focusing on mending my back. I think for everyone listening, for y'all, everyone I care about, just pay attention to your body when it tells you to slow down and try not to push through it, because it usually catches up to you. And that's what I did. So I'm going to listen to my body and take a step back.
Good idea. Yeah. And I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. Get some icy hot from Shaq. I heard it feels really good though. For me, I'm going to finish Suicide Squad, and I'm also reviewing another Code, which was published by Nintendo, and a game I always wanted to play when they came out on DS, because it was like one of those games that I'm like, wow, it looks really cool on a DS when it came out. And it's so far really neat. I never realized it was actually published by Nintendo, but those are the two I'm working on right now, and we'll see if there's any directs next week. Thanks to Riley. But you didn't hear.
Thanks, Riley.
I don't know if there's a
thanks, Riley.
Does everyone say thanks, Riley? Thanks, Riley.
We appreciate you, Riley.
Riley, blink by the end of this recording to let us know the directs are.
Now keep the recording going for another 10 minutes.
We'll wait.
All right, let's see how this goes.
We can wait.
That's a great content. Yeah.
Look at this guy.
You really want to blink.
Oh, you so want to blink.
You want to blink so badly.
Blink so badly.
Think of the light from the screen just hitting his eyeballs and like just making it so just like ooh.
Just think about those Elgato lights, you know. So you could have
You know what? Now
they're weak.
They're weak.
That was close.
Oh my God, he's a
wow. That's really impressive. This is so good.
This is actually pretty good, Riley.
Are you okay?
Maybe you do.
Please tell us if you're okay.
Are you still there?
Yes.
It would have been hilarious. This cam just froze the entire time.
Oh, really? Riley, can you just tell us again?
How have you not blinked?
What were you doing the next few days? What were you doing?
I'm working away. This hurts so bad.
Yeah, keep telling us.
My eyes are watering up.
What are you working on?
You probably should just blink at this point.
Yeah, just blink now.
Just blink.
You could just blink, yeah.
Yeah,
just blink and we can end the show.
Oh no! There it is. Confirmed.
I didn't blink.
Oh, what happened?
Time.
All right, we'll see you all next week. Bye, everyone.
Bye.